There's a hole in my bucket, dear Angie, dear Angie. There's a hole in my bucket, dear Angie, a hole.
Then Mr. Howard, dear Howard, dear Howard. Then Mr. Howard, dear Howard, mended.
With what shall I mend it, dear Angie, dear Angie? With what shall I mend it, dear Angie, with what?
With stone, dear Howard, dear Howard, dear Howard. With stone, dear Howard, dear Howard, the stone.
But the straw is too long, dear Angie, dear Angie. The straw is too long, dear Angie, too long.
Then cat it, dear Howard, dear Howard, dear Howard. Then cat it, dear Howard, dear Howard, cat it.
With what shall I cut it, dear Angie, dear Angie? With what shall I cut it, dear Angie, with what?
With knives, dear Howard, dear Howard, dear Howard. With knives, dear Howard, dear Howard, the knife.
But the knife is too dull, dear Angie, dear Angie. The knife is too dull, dear Angie, too dull.
Then sharpen it, dear Howard, dear Howard, dear Howard. Then sharpen it, dear Howard, dear Howard, sharpen it.
With what shall I sharpen it, dear Angie, dear Angie? With what shall I sharpen it, dear Angie? With what?
With stone, dear Howard, dear Howard, dear Howard. With stone, dear Howard, dear Howard, the stone.
But the stone is too dry, dear Angie, dear Angie. The stone is too dry, dear Angie, too dry.
Then wet it, dear Howard, dear Howard, dear Howard. Then wet it, dear Howard, dear Howard, with it.
With what shall I wet it, dear Angie, dear Angie? With what shall I wet it, dear Angie? With what?
With water, dear Howard, dear Howard, dear Howard. With water, dear Howard, dear Howard, with water.
In what shall I get it, dear Angie, dear Angie? In what shall I get it? The water in what?
In a bucket, dear Howard, dear Howard, dear Howard. In a bucket, dear Howard, dear Howard, in a bucket.
Look, there's a hole in my bucket, dear Angie, dear Angie. A hole in my bucket, dear Angie, a hole.